Hi, welcome to a brand new episode of Gadget Nation with me, Adam Carruthers, and as usual, plenty in store for you on the show today. So here we are at Calories in Hatamas. Just gonna settle down, have a nice coffee, relax, and of course, check out some new gadgets and deliver some of the latest news you might have missed out on in the past week or so. So, whilst I get a drink, we'll start the show.
Philips Malaysia has officially launched its first store located at Publica Kuala Lumpur. The store is divided into multiple product sections according to the brand's wide offerings across multiple lifestyle categories of kitchen appliances, coffee machines, mother and child care, male grooming, air purifiers, and more. The store allows Malaysians to find all of Philips products in one convenient location. Dell Malaysia has introduced Dell Inspiron 237000 series all-in-one and Inspiron 23000 series all-in-one desktop. Powered by 5th generation Intel Core i7 processor, the Inspiron 23 is incredibly slim. It has flexible arm adjust from 90 to 180 degrees to give the choice of viewing. And the optional 23.8-inch version features Intel RealSense 3D camera front f200, which redefines the way users interact. Meanwhile, the Inspiron 20 series provide a complete PC setup combining a PC, monitor and speakers. It can be tilted in stand mode or fold nearly flat, and it can be easily mounted as well. Microsoft Malaysia has officially launched the new Surface 3. Surface 3 is the latest addition to the Surface family and is the thinnest and lightest Surface to date. Like its Surface Pro 3 sibling, the Surface 3 is designed and built with premium material. It's the best of a tablet, yet works like a laptop at a more accessible price point.
A much needed coffee, what can I say? Anyhow, what do I have in store to look at today? Well, we thought we'll do things a little bit different. So we've got a hybrid device. You know, I love those. And also a real bang for your buck phone, at least in my opinion, which might sway you the way of Huawei, the way it has on me, because it really has impressed me, I have to say. So I unveil something from Acer and Huawei right now. Two new devices, but they're not really related whatsoever. So I'm just going to separate the two. Obviously, no point contrasting what we have here, which is a phone, with what is a tablet. Very nifty one, I should add. Okay, let's focus firstly on this. The Acer Aspire Switch 10E. Just come out brand new, and there's a lot to like about this. If you've seen the previous iteration of this, previously the cover wasn't as nice. This has got a very nice matte finish. In fact, there's a multitude of colors for this little bad boy right here. Now, when I open it up, it's obviously got this attached keyboard, and like this, it's going to be running like a notebook effectively, obviously on Windows. And this dock in itself, the keyboard for me, is really well done. It is very, very nice to use, and it sits perfectly on your lap, and you can just type away. Obviously, in this position, you're not really going to do much, but if it was like this, it feels very comfortable. It feels good. And also, having this adds a whole bunch of flexibility. You can obviously separate this and create just a tablet. The display can be swiveled around and used how you want and stuff, and which is very useful as well. And even leant forward like that into a tent sort of fold as well, if you want to watch a movie like that, or whatever. So that's pretty cool. The screen itself, not the clearest one out there, but it certainly does quite a good job. It is obviously in HD with what they say is a wide viewing angle. So there's two of you can sit down and watch. Long battery, they're saying about 12 hours or so should get you done. You'll be happy with that, which I'm pretty happy with. In terms of the camera though, if you're the type of person who likes to take a tablet, take pictures like such, it's not that great. The front and back are running on 2 megapixels, so it's going to be a little bit limited, but I guess what can you do? Now, one key thing here is that with a firm pull, you can just dislodge it from here, and you've got two separate entities. Now, that's very smooth. The way I just took it out, and it's obviously using something magnetic to clip everything into place, and that is a huge improvement, this hinge right here. And I think that they've done an exceptionally good job in creating it like such. Now actually, I'm going to read this off. If this was lost, you can see right here, Acer Switch Lock Data Security. What this means is effectively everything on this is locked. You can't access data. So obviously in terms of safety and security, that in itself is a huge plus point. So pretty cool. However, one thing I don't like too much is the weight. It's heavier than, say, something from the Yoga Pro Lenovo. It's heavier. It's really noticeably heavier, and it does weigh quite a bit in your hands. Like, I would be better off using, say, a MacBook Air, even though I don't get the tablet function, because that's just so much lighter than this. So that's one of my gripes with what we have. Let's move on now to the phone. What we have here is the Huawei Honor 6 Plus, and it feels very, very nice in my hands. Very nifty, 1,399 ringgit as well. So a very good price point. In fact, it feels a little bit like I'm holding something from Sony, like the Xperia Z2 or the Z3 or something. It's because it's got this like fiberglass thing in the back and the front. It just strikes me as that. It may not strike you, but that's one of the first impressions I got when I held the device. Looking at the screen, it is very, very nice. I think it looks fantastic. It's very striking, very vibrant. The PPI is 401, so pixel density not too shabby at all. Obviously, there are better ones out there, but this is a very, very good high-end, I would say, in terms of specs, dual SIM card phone. I mean, quite often we look at dual SIM phones as being more the low-entry models. Features are a little bit limited, it's not too great, and it suffers a bit. So this is certainly something which might appeal to those more who are very inclined to using the full features on a smartphone. Obviously at the base, we just got the USB port right there, so nothing much to show. Now, one thing I do want to point out is you may have noticed the back when I flipped it around. Do you see what I see? Two lenses, 8 megapixels each. They're saying it combines to make 13 megapixel pictures, and it's really nice. I mean, it's really cool. You can tweak stuff after the picture is taken. I was playing around and I took a picture of my cameraman who's holding the camera right now here, and because it's using two lenses, it blurred out the background completely and it just focused on the person in front. Did a very, very good job. You can play around with the aperture as well. There seems to be no problems with it, and the picture quality themselves are fantastic. I think they were really, really clear, and I'm very, very impressed. I mean, I'm not sure how well you can see, but you see how everything in the background is just blurred completely. If I swivel it around, that's me eating, and everything around me is blurred. So very well done to Huawei in terms of the camera, a fantastic job. In terms of the specs inside, it's everything that you could ask for. You can expand the storage from the internal is 32, but you can get all the way up to 128 with a micro SD to stick it inside. And I think apart from that, you would have to say the key selling point would be the camera and the battery life, 3,600 mAh, so you get 2 or 3 days usage as well. So a lot of longevity out there. I know a lot of people are sticklers for how long their battery life lasts, so you shouldn't really have too much of a problem with this. Obviously, it has all the bells and whistles that you would want, like NFC, etc. So there's a lot to love about this phone. These two devices are pretty nifty if you ask me, but what separates them is the fact that this one here, the phone, the 6 Plus, it really stands out. The price point, 1,399. There's a lot to love about it because the specs are pretty high-end. From what I showed you on the camera, having two lenses there, two modules working concurrently, to a very, very nice screen, to being a dual SIM card as well. There's so much here which I love in a very, very, very attractive price point. I mean, even the internal spec, and in terms of competitor who offer the same sort of specs, it's very decently priced. Now, the Acer device here is also the same price at 1,399, but it doesn't have enough that makes it stand out, that makes me say, wow, I would pick this over the competitors. For one, it's heavier. It's over a kg, it's about slightly under 1.3 kg, which is heavier than say the Surface or from the Yoga as well, the Yoga 3 Pro. So you got to think about that. I mean, yeah, the magnetic port does work very well once you disconnect it, and having the security lock as well, which is something Acer is pushing, is also an added bonus, but it just doesn't have enough of a draw for me. But at the same time, it really comes down to budget, doesn't it, more than anything else. So I would definitely take a look at this and think about how you would want to play around with it. If you think it's not too cumbersome for you, by all means, check it out more. But this one really does stand out simply because of its price and its specs, more so than this.